Cosmos. NASA astronaut Jessica Meir will command the mission. Hello and welcome back. I'm Kriti Mehta and you're watching the World Report on NewsX World. Let's take a look at the top headlines this hour. Thousands march in ICE out rally on Minneapolis's Lake Street corridor. The Trump administration launched Operation Metro Surge on December 1. A U.S. immigration and customs enforcement effort in Minneapolis following President Trump's disparaging remarks about Somalis. At least 16 files disappear from the U.S. Justice Department's public webpage, hosting records related to late financier Jeffrey Epstein less than a day after they were released, including one containing a photograph showing President Donald Trump. Democrats note photo of Trump apparently removed from DOJ release of Epstein files. The missing files, which were available on Friday but no longer accessible by Saturday, included a photograph of Trump alongside Epstein, Melania Trump, and Epstein's longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Ukrainian President Zelensky was not sure of a Ukraine-Russia-US meeting. If it will be helpful, says only US can persuade Russia to end war in Ukraine. US offers new talks format including Russia and Ukraine. The United States intercepts an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela in international waters, a move that comes just days after US President Donald Trump announced a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan has called on supporters to prepare for nationwide protests after he and his wife were sentenced to 17 years in a corruption case. Khan blamed the country's top military leadership for his detention. 9 people were killed and 10 wounded when gunmen opened fire at a licensed tavern in Bakersdale near Johannesburg. Police say multiple suspects fled the scene and a manhunt is underway as investigators work to determine the motive. Google has announced that its Gemini AI platform will fully replace Google Assistant on Android devices in 2026, pushing back its earlier timeline to allow for a more seamless migration. The change will affect Android phones, tablets, and even the standalone iOS app, which will be phased out once Gemini takes over. Viewers, thousands of Bangladeshi mourners, including the country's interim leader Mohammad Yunus, attended the funeral of a youth leader and election candidate Sharif Omar Hadi yesterday. Hadi was a key figure in last year's student-led uprising that toppled longtime Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. He was shot in the head last week by a group of masked assailants while he was campaigning for an election due next year's February. Hadi succumbed to his injuries on Thursday in a Singapore hospital. Now, the student leaders present at the funeral demanded the Bangladesh government to take stringent action against Hadi's killing, and that too within the next 24 hours. Several media reports claim that many of these attendees also tried to storm the parliament after taking part in the procession. No officials have confirmed the details on the same as of now. Meanwhile, India is keeping a close watch on the violent situations unfolding in Bangladesh. Senior military channels between New Delhi and Dhaka have become active with the army chiefs of both countries in direct consultation with each other to assess ground realities and prevent further deterioration along the border areas. Moreover, in a separate incident of brutal mob lynching that came out of the Mymensingh district of Bangladesh yesterday, police officials now report that they have arrested 10 individuals in total in connection to the murder of the Hindu youth Deepu Chandra. Retired Major General A.K. Sawaj, who is a geostrategic expert, now joins us in this discussion from New Delhi. Thank you, Major General Sawaj, for joining me in this discussion. Now, of course, Yunus has gone ahead and joined this funeral procession of Hadi. But what about Deepu Chandra, who was lynched so brutally? Why no, show of remorse for him? Just 7 people have been apprehended, that too on charges of blasphemy, but it's anyone's guess that they would be released on bail anytime soon.
Absolutely. See, as far as Bangladesh is concerned, the situation in Bangladesh is quite precarious. The law and order is not there. The radical elements are coming on the road and they are ransacking everything. See, after the murder of Osman Hadi, possibly which has been done by the radical elements sponsored by Pakistan ISI, because they do not want the election to take place in February, and that suits also the present establishment. They don't want the election to come because they are feeling it that Jamaat-e-Islami, which is pro-Pakistan, will not able to win, though the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which is likely to come, they want the election time. So all this has been orchestrated by Pakistan ISI, which are increasing their footprints every day, and there are anti-India sentiments which they are now trying to flare up in the environment. It is also against the minorities. Now, Deep Das, who was a Hindu, he's been killed on blasphemy. No law is there to protect any minority community now in Bangladesh. It is making free for all, and also the media and also the cadre of Awami League. So overall, to me, it looks like the things are going from bad to worse, and things are not in control of Muhammad Yunus. Today, radical elements of Jamaat-e-Islam, also Ansar Islam, Mujahideen, Bangladesh, they have taken over. And the ISI is now calling the shot in Bangladesh. In fact, what they have done is they have opened those camps which once upon a time closed of extremists which are operating in northeastern Chittagong Hills. They are also radicalizing Rohingyas, and they want to push it in India. So overall, the situation deteriorating very fast. As to how will the present establishment able to control, the time will only tell. But as on today, it looks to me that things are not going very fine, and unnecessarily they are raising fingers on India. India has nothing to do. Anti-India, rhetoric which has been generated. This is all been generated by Pakistan.
Is
Now,
this keeping in mind the election next year? The anti-India narrative that's being driven, do you think it's to defer the polls, and how ready do you think is Bangladesh to have elections in 2 months' time?
Absolutely. See, you very rightly said, you have hit the nail on the head. The present establishment of Muhammad Yunus do not want election. They want to prolong it. They want to stay in the chair, in the power as long as possible. And it also suits Jamaat-e-Islami and other radical elements, because they feel that they will not able to win the elections. So therefore, this has been orchestrated by these radical elements, and Pakistan ISI which is pushing it. And in case this Hadi, who has been killed, though he used to be speaking against India, India had no role in that. So this has been done by the Pakistan ISI, and that is just to create an environment wherein the election can be postponed. So I fully agree on the point which you asked. The main aim of present establishment and radical elements and Pakistan ISI is to somehow create a situation where the election cannot take place in time and the elections are indefinitely postponed.
All right, thank you very much, Major General. But do continue to stay on with us. As you name of ISI, we have some news coming in from Pakistan. In fact, before we move there, let's give you some more information in connection to Bangladesh. In another development from the Lakshmipur Sadar Upzila area, violent mob reportedly torched the house of the Bangladeshi nationalist leader Bilal Hussain, killing his 7-year-old daughter. The incident took place at 1 a.m. yesterday, which critically injured Bilal Hussain. The BNP leader's other daughter has also sustained severe burn injuries. All right, now moving on to news from Pakistan. Viewers, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged his supporters to gear up for countrywide protests following a 17-year jailed term handed to him and his wife Bushra Bibi in a corruption case. Khan, who has been in jail since August 2023, faces multiple cases launched against him since his ouster from power in April 2022. The Toshkhana 2 case involves alleged fraud in state gifts that the former first couple received from the Saudi government in 2021. He argued that the latest sentence did not come as a surprise and asked his legal team to move the High Court against the decision. He also targeted the army's leadership for his detention, but in the same vein said that the army is his, showing his effort to win its support while attacking the top leadership of the armed forces. And I now invite Major General Siwach to join me back in the discussion here. Major General, of course, we know that Imran Khan continues to be in jail already, and his condition there is anybody's guess. Families also met him recently, but says that he does not appear to be in good shape. How much do you think this has to do with the elevation of Asim Munir to the CDF rank?
Absolutely. See, Asim Munir and Imran Khan do not share a very good relation. When Asim Munir was the DGISI and he was removed from DGISI on the behest of then Prime Minister Imran Khan, because he has that time gone to Imran Khan and basically told about Ishar Bibi, the wife of that Prime Minister, that she was involved in corruption charges. So their enmity start from there. Now, as far as today it is concerned, basically Asim Munir called the shot. He is the field marshal. He is only one point contact in Pakistan. So the complete power rests with him. And therefore, he will ensure that Imran Khan does not come out of the jail. As it is, there is no law and order in Pakistan. Everything happens what the military wants. Now, Imran Khan is in jail from August 23. There are a number of charges which have been put, and he has been punished multiple times. But is judiciary free? The judiciary is not free there. And what the establishment is trying to do, or what is the Pakistan army trying to do? They are putting tremendous pressure on Imran Khan that he should bow down and leave the country, which Imran Khan is not agreeing to it. He is not coming under pressure, because he knows that he is the most popular leader in Pakistan today. He enjoys almost 35 to 40% popularity. So therefore, now the point is coming is again the establishment and Pakistan Army trying that puts tremendous pressure on Imran Khan that he submit himself and he leave the country, because they know the moment Imran Khan comes out of the prison, the things will be different. As it is now, he has already called for protest, and you will find the things will be going from bad to worse. Remember, in Pakistan there is a political instability, there is economic crisis, the terrorism increasing manifold. There are chances of Pakistan slipping into a civil war. And in case the civil war takes place in Pakistan, there are chances that Pakistan break into four. That is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan, Sindh and Punjab. And POJ can Gilgit Baltistan can join India. So this is the narrative, I think, the way things are unfolding in Pakistan. Because if they keep on keeping Imran Khan in the jail and they thinking that he will submit to their demand, that will not happen. And judiciary is biased and influenced. This is known phenomena. The history of Pakistan says whosoever is ruling, they put opposition leaders inside the jail. It happened during Imran Khan. They put Nawaz Sharif. Now PMLN is ruling. They have put Imran Khan. But Imran Khan is the most popular leader. There is no denying the fact. And today, if he is inside the jail, there are chances of protest now going out of hand.
Sure. And amidst all of this, and you say that Pakistan may as well break into four, how do you see US's growing support for the nation?
No doubt about it. As far as US is concerned, they are making use of the situation. You know, Pakistan has been always very close to US. It was SATO, CENTO. Now, remember that after 9/11, when they wanted to fight against Taliban, then America gave up ultimatum to Pakistan: if either you are with us or you are against us. So Pakistan took a U-turn and they came with the US. Now, why US all of a sudden you find that interest coming into Pakistan? See, Pakistan is strategically located. America need bases in Pakistan in case if they have to go and attack Iran again. They want to keep an eye in Afghanistan, especially on ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They want to also keep a surveillance on China and Russia. So they need bases, and Pakistan is ready to give. They have already given Pasni Island. And remember that when Al-Johari was killed in Kabul, the drones flew from Pakistan only. Another two aspect is that Pakistan is ready to do in the cryptocurrency business, which is a basically business of Donald Trump
Donald Trump,
family.
yeah.
Then second thing is the critical minerals. There is some rumor there are critical minerals in Balochistan, and they have opened their gates that US should come and explore that. So overall, you find that it suits Donald Trump personality. And now Asim Munir and Donald Trump seemingly looks to be very close because for money, Pakistan can do anything. And after this Operation Sindhu, when Pakistan had taken the side of US claiming that yes, the India-Pakistan war was stopped because it was Donald Trump who was intervened, which is towing their line, which India has time and again told that US had no role. It was a DGMO Pakistan which pleaded to DGMO India to stop the war. That's how it stopped. So therefore, the question is today the situation in Pakistan is very very volatile. What will happen in future? Time can only tell. But one thing is that US will try to help out the present establishment because Asim Munir has become very close to Donald Trump in recent time.
Sure, certainly. Thank you very much, Retired Major General, for joining me in this discussion, and we appreciate you joining us. Viewers, moving ahead, let's cover news from Australia. Hundreds of people have gathered at the Bondi Beach in Australia to mark 1 week since the two gunmen shot and killed 15 people at the Hanukkah event. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is also present at the vigil, which has begun with the lighting of a single candle followed by a minute of silence. Meanwhile, the security at the event is tight. The beach area has larger police presence than usual, including some policemen carrying rifles. Members of the public who did not have tickets to the vigil are also being turned away. Let's in fact listen into what some attendees are saying.
It's still really difficult to understand what's been happening. I guess the tears still have to flow at some point, but it just is very hard to know that all of those things are happening around the world as well.
Yeah.
And that is very concerning to me. And I personally feel very strongly about the fact that, especially being German, that this has happened in history before and that this cannot happen again.
Every day we hear of somebody else that's connected. It's a small community and we all know someone who knows someone who lost their life. A rabbi that I used to work with, very much the great synagogue, lost his brother-in-law, Eli Schlanger, Rabbi Eli Schlanger. And so it goes on. It touches all of us very, very deeply. My husband is a Holocaust survivor, and his dear mother many years ago said to me, anti-Semitism will never go away. And I said to her, darling, you're wrong. This is Australia. I've grown up here. I've never experienced anti-Semitism. And I don't think it's possible that it would be like that again. And here I am thinking, thank God she has not lived to see what's happened. It would have destroyed her completely.
Moving on, viewers, Israelis rallied in Tel Aviv demanding accountability for the October 7, 2023 attacks. Protesters called on the government to set up a state commission of inquiry. They say Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to take responsibility. Some demonstrators urged Netanyahu to resign, saying he was in power when the attack happened. The protests also focused on the last slain Israeli hostage, Ran Gvili, whose body has not yet been retrieved from Gaza. His return is seen as a key to a US brokered plan aimed at securing peace between Israel and Gaza. Protesters vow to keep rallying until Gvili is brought home. Let's in fact listen into what some of the protesters are saying.
I came here to protest because the government is non-democratic and is wants to appoint their investigating for the massacre that they are responsible for, and we cannot suffer something like this because this is will make us a fascist country.
This is like maybe the last chance we have to stay like Israel, like as a modern country, like a Western country, and not to be a country of just taking care to the people that are close to you politically. It's unprecedented in all the disaster that hit Israel, that always there was an independent committee. And now suddenly the government is refusing it, and it makes no sense.
All right, joining me in this discussion now is Mati Zweig, who's a geopolitical expert, and he joins us from Tel Aviv. Thank you, Mati, for joining me in this discussion. Now, clearly, these protests are very good morning to you. Protests are not the first time that Tel Aviv is seeing such a rally, but Arab activists are apparently saying that the government is happy about the Arab crime wave. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, this is, first of all, Israel is a democracy. There's always have been a lot of manifestations against the government, and they continue to be, especially against Prime Minister Netanyahu, because of his policies, of the sense of the people that justice has not been done according to many parameters of investigating what happened the 7th of October. And this is one thing that they are manifesting against. And all the current situation is that Israel is also not really entering, as was promised, in a second phase after almost all hostages have been released, except one body of one of them. And there is a very spread anger between many people, not only in the opposition, but in general, about the way they have been treating things, and also in their relation with Trump that is going ups and downs. Also, one day Trump interfered in favor of Netanyahu in front of the democratic judges of Israel, telling him what to do. The other day, he's against Israel for not implementing fully what he wants, despite all the dangers that the soldiers have been coping inside Gaza. I mean, this is not very a very nice moment, not for the government and not for the Israeli society, but it's a free society and people is manifesting against that.
All right, and how is the investigation into the allegations going on as of now? Because clearly there's resentment among the Israelis.
No, there are different things. One thing is the charges against Netanyahu in different things, like the case 2000, 2001, 2004, etc., that they are charging him with corruption and fraud and illicit moves that he did to cover himself and try to get favor of big media, giving them all kinds of things like regulatory amends, especially for the big media, if they are covering him favorably. This was things from the past that they are going on for 5 years, and this is mostly because he, as a prime minister, is delaying all the time, appearing in the courts, and so this is continued. From the other side, people is also quite angry that the big independent commission investigating what happened the 7th of October, that from the Israel point of view was a big failure, not only militarily, but also from the political statement. And this is not occurring. And even Netanyahu himself, he wants to do an investigative committee that is going to be presided by himself and some of his ministers. So nobody is really agreeing with that, and this is part of the big tensions and the manifestations.
All right, thank you very much, Mati, for explaining the situation to us. And with that, viewers, let's now move on. According to Roche CEO Thomas Schneiker, under agreements deals between Washington and major drug makers to cut medicine prices in the United States could lead to higher prices for new drugs in Switzerland. Announced by the White House, companies including Roche's US unit Genentech will reduce prices for medicines sold through the Medicaid program. Schneenecker said the U.S. goal is to ensure other wealthy countries contribute more to the cost of pharmaceutical innovation. Future drug prices would be linked to a country's economic strength, meaning nations with higher GDP per capita could face higher prices. While existing medicines in Switzerland would not be affected, Schneenecker warned new drugs could become more expensive over time, and resisting price increases could delay the launch of new treatments. And now moving on to some news from South Africa. 9 people have been killed and 10 others wounded now in a mass shooting near Johannesburg. South African police say the attack happened just before 1 a.m. at licensed tavern in Bekkersdal Township. Authorities say about 12 gunmen arrived in a minibus and a car. They opened fire on patrons and continued shooting as they fled. All suspects are still on the run and a manhunt is underway. The injured have been taken to hospital. Police say the motive remains unclear and investigations are ongoing. Bekkersdal lies in an area hit hard by unemployment and poverty. South Africa continues to battle one of the world's highest murder rates. And I'm joined in by Ionuga Olagbenga Paul, who's a public affairs analyst, joins us live from Lagos in Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you, Ionuga, for joining me in this discussion. Now, do tell us about the latest situation there in Johannesburg and how are the authorities doing in managing the situation after the gunfire?
Well, this latest is a series of crime that, to me, I think has something to do with the drug underworld because the patterns are too similar. Earlier this month or late last month, there was a similar shootout in an unlicensed tavern that left almost 12 people to 16 people dead, among whom were children. I think 1 3-year-old child that time. And not quite long after that, in another location, shows to me the hallmarks of drug-related violence and the fact that they are all happening in suburbs where the unemployment rate is high, the consumption of alcohol is high, and most often than not, this usually happens in the midnight, early morning hours of most times when the attacks happen. Now, what I can't wrap my head around is the indiscriminate nature of the shooting. So it's like somebody is trying to take off another person's stuff and trying to scare away patrons by this shootout. That is what it looks like to me, because we should not forget that in the 1920s, in the early 1900s, where America itself was having reeling from one economic depression to another, and there was bootlegging in America. We have this same pattern of violence playing out in that period in the America. So, and I think the same pattern is what has been playing out in South Africa over the last few years, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon, except the fundamental issues are fixed. When people do not live properly like human beings with all the dignities and appurtenances that comes with being a human being, life will not be treated as sacred as it should be. And that is what I see that is happening in South Africa. There is a lot of hopelessness, especially among the black communities, where there are very few and far between jobs, and so a lot of people resort to armed robbery, resort to whatever form of survival they can, and there is no way in the process of carrying that out that you won't hurt somebody who wants to take revenge and so on and so forth like that. And that is why, the EFF political party called for the economic emancipation of the black community, the economic empowerment of, because up till today, the white minority still control more than 90% of the South African economy. And so there are very little opportunities to really grow and come out of the slum for a lot of black people there. And so there is high hopelessness, high level of hopelessness, high level of despair in most of this community, and I think that is the fundamental fuel that is, powering this spate of violence. South Africa has the highest number of murder record in the world, with more than 60 murders being recorded daily, and that is a that they have
Startling
not
figure
been
to say
able
the least.
to.
Also raising concerns on gun violence there. But for now, thank you, Ayanuba, for joining me in this discussion. And I'm running short on time, unfortunately. Viewers, that's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.